Will crypto be bouncing back this weekend? Because we're going to have a pretty big weekly candle close here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, whether you like it or not, is still the driver of this crypto market. If it dumps, that is going to bring the altcoins down with it. If it pumps, then that's going to be very good for the altcoins. So you want to be rooting for Bitcoin. And what I'm looking at here for Bitcoin is that the bears are actually trying to break down from this rising wedge pattern, which is a bearish pattern that has a higher chance of breaking to the downside. If this thing continues breaking down, the breakdown target here would be about underneath 80,000. So let's see if this breakdown actually gets there, or will this be a fake out as we have seen with the S&P 500, which is what I'm about to show you here. Okay, basically S&P 500 futures had a rising wedge. It broke to the upside. Okay, could this be a front running signal for Bitcoin because it usually has pretty high correlation with Bitcoin? Something to be paying attention to this weekend. We're going to be taking a look into a few altcoin setups, which includes Anchor, which is ANKR, Aster, which is a new coin that has been pumping like crazy. Let's see where if this coin will be retracing and where are some support levels to be paying attention to, as well as the next altcoin would be Moo Deng, okay, the meme coin. See what's happening with Moo Deng because there has been some price action in there as well. I'm gonna be taking a look into some viewer comments right on weekends. Usually not as much interesting news. I will be reacting to some of your viewer comments and answering some questions as well. And let's go ahead and dive into some major economics and cryptos news first, and then we'll get into the comments and then the charts. All right, first piece here is going to be by ZY Crypto. Are whales and institutional players still big bullish on Bitcoin? Okay, so here's what the market data says. Let's dive a little deeper into what this data says. So large investors and institutional players are quietly increasing their Bitcoin exposure, even as the broader markets remains stagnant. So yeah, I agree with. I am still bullish on the markets, right? I don't think this bull cycle is over. I think we're still early in this bull cycle for a couple of big reasons. One of which is that the Federal Reserve has actually just started its rate cut cycle in September, which is this month. If you guys been following my channel for any point at all, you guys know that is what I've been talking about. A few technicals on the charts, which also tells me that this bull cycle is likely not over. Okay, but I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinions on this market is bullish right now. But these are just my opinions, like the entirety of this video. And I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. You guys gotta form your own opinions and strategies. All right, next piece here is by News BTC. Bitcoin daily RSI at most oversold level since April. Time to buy. So let's go ahead and visit this because I love the charts here. Right, daily time frame. We are not in oversold level, right? I mean, we're at a reading of about 38, right? So that message is kind of misleading. But comparing to April, like the bottom in April, that was also at about 34. So we're at comparable levels. Okay, the question is, are we gonna bounce at this RSI level, because there's still quite a bit of room to go in order for Bitcoin to be oversold, right? Because we don't have to bounce at 34, right? That's just my take here. So there could be more room for Bitcoin to go. Of course, like I said, I pointed out that bearish pattern there. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin pullback sparks fears of market exhaustion. long cooling ahead. So let's see here. So let's read some of this. Bitcoin's recent pullback is a textbook buy the rumor, sell the news reaction. But Glassnode said that the broader context reviews a market showing sign of exhaustion. Um, I think I'll probably need a little bit more detail, but I don't think that we are in a. I mean, I think we could be in a cooling cycle right now, right? This consolidation, right? But I do think that there is more room for Bitcoin to run. Okay, a lot of people are calling for October, right? Because based on historical data, October seems to do very well for Bitcoin. But that is something that I wouldn't base it completely off just historical data on October, but I'm looking at the technical pattern. And based on the technicals I'm seeing on the charts, I still think that we have quite a bit of upside to run for Bitcoin. Next piece here is by News BTC. Bitcoin tipped to peak in 2026, and here's why. I do think that this bull cycle is going to run into 2026. I do think that there is going to be another dump once Bitcoin hits a level at about maybe, at the next height, right? That's just the technical trend of an uptrend, right? You're going to see higher highs and higher lows. And I think when Bitcoin makes that next higher high, there's going to be a next higher low. So, I do think that there's going to be another dump following the next higher high. And I think there's going to be a rebound like we have seen back in 2017, 2021, right? May 2021. There was a dump, right, after a huge run up. I do think that we're going to play out pretty similarly. Just because of an uptrend pattern. Let's take a look into the next piece here, which is by Coinpedia. Bitcoin's prediction: Novigrads see 200K if Trump's Fed pick turns dovish. Well, I do think that Trump's Fed rate pick. It's Fed pick is probably going to be dovish because if you guys been following Trump, he's been calling for a rate cut, and I do think that the next person he puts in the Federal Reserve chair position is going to be dovish, and that could potentially give us more upside for the crypto markets if the Fed turns dovish. All right, let's go ahead and go to viewer comments. All right, we're gonna open up my YouTube channel here. Okay. And then we're going to react to some recent comments because there are some questions I would like to answer for you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look here. And we're still loading. All right. So let's see some comments here. So based on the GRT videos, quite a bit of viewers want to see more GRT videos. Okay, so I will be making more GRT videos if enough of you guys want to see it. So please do like my videos, share it, subscribe. That will get me more views on my videos, and I will continue. That will support my channel, and I'll continue bringing you guys what you guys want to see. Let's see here. So, let's newest. All right. This is on my Chronos videos. I'm gonna see if I got enough views on my Chronos videos, and I'll make you guys an update. Okay. New low coming for Matic or Polygon. What do you guys think? I'm not gonna switch over to the charts here, but we'll see. Okay. Let's see. So the next one here. I'm not selling GRT until at least $1 or $1.15 or higher. Higher is very preferable. When do you think that can potentially happen? So based. Let me just talk about it on the charts here. Okay, let's go to GRT on the charts here because I'm gonna refer to this, and GRT is at 8 cents right now. So a dollar. I mean, that's at least 12x, right? Um. So what the charts don't tell me is when it could reach a price level, right? That's what the charts do not tell me. What the charts do tell me is that if it runs in a certain range, right, what is more likely to happen. So, for example, if we've been seeing a lot of these falling wedges, which is a range, right? And when it's bounded in this range, it tells me that a breakout is more likely to happen if it breaks this upward trend line here. Okay, it's all a probabilities game, right? And in some cases, it does tell me that when a move is about to happen. Okay, like let me say, for example, if so this was a past GRT pattern, a falling wedge pattern that basically has a narrowing channel. Basically, you can connect the ends of the pattern, and based on the connected ends, you can kind of expect a move to happen, right? And based on the pattern, it's likelier to break to the upside. Okay, so that's what the chart can tell me, but it can't tell me at what time it could reach at a certain price level, because a lot of that is going to depend on how strong the market is, based on external news and factors. So that's what the charts cannot tell me. So I mean, I hope that answers your question. Okay, um let's take a look into, I think it can. I'm loving the dip. Yes, I did. I am still holding long, despite this dip. Keep the flare network coming. I will keep the flare network coming. I do see quite a bit of viewers on my flare videos. Thank you very much. Keep sharing my videos. OP coin. Any of you guys have OP coin? Any of you guys still trading ICP? So I will welcome more comments, questions. Now let's go ahead and go back to the video here. Let's go ahead and go to Bitcoin here because it's going to be very important. We have, like I said, on this weekly time frame, you don't want to see Bitcoin continue breaking down from this rising wedge pattern. However, if in order for this to be a bear trap, you do want to see a weekly candle wick back into the pattern. Okay, or a candle close back into the pattern if that happens by next week. Let's go ahead and go to a shorter time frame here for Bitcoin because this is still relevant since this breakdown is basically new. We have quite a bit of bullish divergence on this hourly time frame here. You don't want to see these divergences get invalidated because that could mean that there's going to be more downside and this breakdown here is becoming more real. Okay, so this is basically what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and go to let's go to altcoins here. Now let's go ahead and go to ANKR first. ANKR, what's happening with ANKR? Weekly time frame. Been talking about this forever. Weekly time frame, this is a falling wedge pattern. Falling wedges, like I said, are likelier to break to the upside. However, ANKR is very close to the bottom of this pattern here, and let's see what it is about to do. I do want to mention that there was a pattern on the daily time frame, a falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame that is invalidated. I think it broke out to the upside, but it went nowhere near its price targets before breaking back into the pattern. So that invalidates the pattern. Now, price targets are estimates only, okay? There could be more, there could be less. Got to consider just the risk, right? And the probabilities that come with it. Now, daily time frame for ANKR, since the invalidation of that smaller falling wedge pattern, there is a a chart here for a bigger falling wedge pattern, right? And the price target for this one is about 1.9 cents price target if it breaks out by this point, for example. Quite a bit of resistance along the way now for Anchor, including your daily moving averages. Also got to consider the downside as well, but there is a very strong move here on this daily green candle. And what I mean is that if you guys actually look at the RSI, if the daily candle actually closes uh, at or lower than the previous low here, there is still likely a bullish divergence scenario, which is likely going to indicate another bounce. Okay. However, if this thing does actually breaks down if it actually breaks down from this falling wedge pattern, I think the next level I'll be looking at would be about. Let's take a look into the higher time frames. The next level I could be looking at would be next support level would be about 1.3 cents, okay, which is not that far away. That would be the next support level if this thing actually breaks down. So that's what I'm seeing for Anchor. Let's go ahead and go to Moo Deng, where there has been some pretty significant price action here. I talked about Moo Deng last time, and this is a falling wedge pattern that's more noticeable on a smaller time frame. Price target for this falling wedge pattern here is going to be about 29 cents price target. And then since the breakout there's on the week of June 23rd, there has been a double bottom as well. I mentioned that last time. Double bottoms are bullish patterns that has a higher chance of breaking to the upside. The neckline is going to be about, I'm going to say about 25 cents, just to be even there. And the price target for this double bottom would be almost 38 cents. Let's see if it gets there. Okay. Daily time frame. There has been a few falling wedge patterns here. Last time I talked about this smaller falling wedge pattern. Price target was about 17 cents. Moo Deng shot way up above that, okay, and it went to about almost 24 cents. Let's go ahead and take away some of these trend lines here. And since the breakout there and hitting about 24 cents, it has formed another falling wedge pattern here that looks like it's trying to break out of. 4-hour time frame for a more clear view. This is a falling wedge pattern, and it has actually broken out right here. And the price target based on that breakout would be about almost 22 cents. Quite a bit of resistance along the way. Let's see if Moo Deng can hit some of these price targets. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Aster, which is a new coin here, okay, that has had some pretty significant price action. Now, this thing has basically came into the market, at least on one of the exchanges here on September 19th, and it has just been on a pump, right? It went from about 55 cents to almost about $2.50 almost. So let's see what Aster could be doing right now. 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. Very important for Aster to break above this upward trend line here, because if not, this could be forming some type of a falling wedge pattern that could look something more like this, okay? Based on, let's see where the next likely support is if this support doesn't hold. But there is bearish divergence on this 4-hour time frame. So bearish divergence usually means that there's going to be a pullback. And let's see if that happens. If that happens, the next level of key support I'll be looking at would be, the 6-hour 21 SMA. That would imply that the 6-hour 21 SMA will likely not hold, right? If that bearish divergence in the 4-hour time frame plays out, I could be looking at the 12-hour 21 SMA as the next key support, but that hasn't appeared yet because this is still a pretty new coin. Okay, so the next level of key support could be the 12-hour 21 SMA when it appears. If it doesn't appear yet and this thing falls down, it could be looking at maybe the 4-hour 50 SMA as the next level of support. So this basically wraps it up for my video for these coins. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of these coins by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, or any other coins in this market, I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. I'll see you on the next one.